This piece for solo flute begins with an 18-note musical idea divided into 4 gesturally and intervallically distinct components labeled W, X, Y, and Z. W is hexatonic, X is chromatic, Y is octatonic, Z, which operates as a sort of tag to the phrase as a whole, combines elements of W, X, and Y. As we will see, the piece as a whole explores the contrasts and affinities between these 4 components, as well as the possibilities of combining them into larger shapes. W is an upward rocket, rapidly ascending through alternating semitones and perfect fifths. It traverses a complete 1/7 cycle. The next note in this cycle would be a return to C. Taken as a whole, W states a complete hexatonic collection, C, D flat, E, F, A flat, A. Each of its segmental trichords is a member of set class 015, and these are linked into an RI chain, C, D flat, A flat, overlapped with D flat, A flat, A, overlapped with A flat, A, E, overlapped with A, E, F. If it continued, the next link in the chain would be E, F, C, taking us back to our starting point 2 octaves higher, but the chain breaks off at that point. From the point of view of transpositional combination, W can be thought of as 3 semitones related by T4 or T8, C, D flat, related by T4 to E, F, which is related by T4 to A flat, A, which is related by T4 to C, D flat. If W was an upward rocket, X puts the brakes on, moving slowly within a narrow compass from B flat down to G. Omitting the repeated B flat, it describes a descending 1 cycle, B flat, A flat, G. Taken as a whole, X states a form of the chromatic tetrachord 0, 1, 2, 3, G, A flat, A, B flat. Each of its segmental trichords is a member of set class 0, 1, 2, and these are linked into an RI chain, B flat, A flat, overlapped with A flat, G. From the point of view of transpositional combination, X can be thought of as two semitones related by T2. The semitones A, B flat and G, A flat are related by T2. In short, X does in a chromatic space what W does in a hexatonic space. If W is hexatonic and X is chromatic, Y is octatonic. Like W, Y ascends through a compound interval cycle, alternating 1 and 2, and forms a segment of an octatonic scale, 0, 1, 3, 4. It embeds two forms of 0, 1, 3, arranged as an RI chain, D, E flat, F, overlapped with E flat, F, G flat. From the point of view of transpositional combination, Y can be thought of as two semitones related by T3. The semitones D, E flat and F, G flat are related by T3. Z lacks the cyclic and transpositional aspects of W, X, and Y, but it recalls each of them collectionally. 0, 1, 5 from W, 0, 1, 2 from X, and the F, G flat semitone from Y. 0, 1, 5 is the main trichord in W, as in its first three notes, C, D flat, A flat. 0, 1, 5 comes back in Z as F, G flat, B flat. 0, 1, 2 is the first trichord in X, B flat, A, B flat, A flat. 0, 1, 2 comes back in Z as its lowest four notes, F, G flat, F, E. F, G flat, the last two notes in Y, return immediately as the first two notes in Z. In addition, the last three notes of Z, B flat, F, E, form set class 0, 1, 6. The same set type is found at the boundary between W and X, and between X and Y. Similarly, set class 0, 1, 5 is heard as the first three notes of the melody, and then returns at the boundaries between W and X, X and Y, and Y and Z. The opening 18 notes thus form a richly integrated and unified idea, composed of four distinct components that nonetheless are formed in similar ways, share internal features, and are joined together by set types they contain. The opening 18-note idea resonates through the rest of the piece, sometimes in its entirety, and sometimes just its individual components. Indeed, one can do something of an 18 count of the piece, treating the first 18 notes as a series, a line of pitch classes more or less fixed in order, but free as to octave position. With these clear landmarks in place, it is possible to see the whole piece as a series of statements of WXYZ. W has an initiating function, and its appearances divide the piece into 5 sections, shown here as the 5 lines of the score. The final section peters out into fragmented and truncated statements of the 4 components. In many cases, these components are fragmented, reordered, reduced in scope, but are still recognizable. Having based the piece on 4 contrasting components, the composer seems particularly interested in exploring the boundaries between them and the common elements they share. By the end, the references have been reduced to single tones, and the movement ends with the dyad G-D at the boundary between X and Y.